Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. All my friends who have tuned in for live commentary for this Formula One round 15 of Malaysian Grand Prix. Happens to be the last Grand Prix of Malaysia, and we are expecting some great action coming through. With most of the teams and drivers have been settled, we are looking forward for a great weekend here and the last weekend at Malaysia. Would like to give some insights for the season, how season has progressed as of now. It'll be very interesting. Firstly, I'll take you through the constructor standings, how the teams stand this year. Mercedes is leading the constructors standings with 475 points, followed by Ferrari 373 points. Red Bull follows then 230 points. Force India 124 points, strong fourth place. Fifth place is Williams Mercedes with 59 points. Very closely fought battle with Toro Rosso with 52 points in 6th position. Renault in 7th position, 42 points. Haas 37 points, 8th position. 9th McLaren Honda with 17 points. And Sauber Ferrari with 5 points stands at the bottom of the list. In terms of drivers, Lewis Hamilton, with the emphatic win which he got in Singapore, is leading the driver championship with 263 points, which is well clear 28 points from Sebastian Vettel from Ferrari in 2nd position. Valtteri Bottas sits in 3rd position for Mercedes. Daniel Ricciardo 4th position for Red Bull with 162 points. Just to remind, Valtteri Bottas is catching up fast to Sebastian Vettel, and any good result in next few races, we would see the championships challenge, which was led by Sebastian Vettel till now, had been lost last time around in Singapore, and he could even lose the 2nd position, which there are strong points as Ferrari has strong car. However, Mercedes has better car in next few races left for the season. Kimi Raikkonen sits at 5th place. I would say dismal performance from him, being Ferrari has got very good car this year. He's on 138 points. Max Verstappen, very unlucky this season. Most of the races have gone in DNFs. He sits at 68 points, locked together with Sergio Perez in 7th position for Force India. Esteban Ocon, other Force Indian driver, 56 points, 8th position. 9th position, Carlos Sainz from Toro Rosso, and Renault, Nico Hülkenberg, 10th position with 34 points. Felipe Massa of Williams and Lance Stroll of Williams in 11th and 12th position with 31 and 28 points. Roman Grosjean for Haas and Kevin Magnussen for Haas 2, 13th and 14th position with 26 and 11 points. Then McLaren Honda, Fernando Alonso, 15th position with 10 points. Jolyon Palmer from Renault, 8 points. Stoffel Van Dorn, 7 points. 17th position. 18th position, Pascal Wehrlein from Sauber, 5 points. Toro Rosso, Daniel Kvyat, 19th position. Both the Sauber Ferraris still to score the points. They are in 20th and 21st position. Qualifying session is to be started in about 8 minutes time from now. In the meantime, stay tuned to my channel and don't forget to like and subscribe my channel by hitting the subscribe button on your bottom of your screen, right bottom. This is Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary for Formula 1 round 15 from Malaysia. Just to give you update further, what happened in free practice sessions. FP2 and FP3 have been led by Ferraris, with Raikkonen leading Vettel in free practice session 3, which was a very interesting session. Kimi Raikkonen led with Sebastian Vettel in second position. Daniel Ricciardo was third, with not much time difference between three of them. Then both the Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Max Verstappen was 6th, 7th was Sergio Perez, Felipe Massa 8th, Esteban Ocon, Force India 9th, and Stoffel Vandoorne was 10th in free practice session 3. As we are getting ready for the qualifying session to start, which has still some time. Few minutes to go for the qualifying session. And good news is that there is only a 20% of chance of the rain in this session. But the only bad point or bad news I would say for the drivers will be that it's going to be extremely hot in cockpit. The temperature will rise to around 50 degrees Celsius in the cockpit, which is not going to give any comfort zone whatsoever for the driver. Remember, Singapore, Malaysia, these are high demand circuits in terms of humidity, and drivers are completely drained out in these races. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by clicking the subscribe button on your right bottom screens of your computer or smartphones. This is Naresh from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary for round 15 of Formula 1 2015 Malaysian Grand Prix. Also, this race will be very important because this is going to be last Malaysian Grand Prix. The first Malaysian Grand Prix happened way back in 1999, and it's been a long time since Malaysian Grand Prix is on the circuit. It has seen some great races happening here and some great champions coming through. The first race was in 1999. This has 56 laps and circuit length is 5.543 kilometers with a race distance of 310.4 kilometers. The lap record sits with John Pablo Montoya in 2004 with 1 minute 34.223 seconds. as this is 15th round of Formula 1, we have another 5 races to go after this. 6th to 8th October will be Japanese Grand Prix, followed by 20th to 22nd October will be United States Grand Prix at Austin, followed by another weekend in Mexico, and in November we'll have final races, which is Brazilian Grand Prix on 12th of November and 26th November, last race of the season at Abu Dhabi. Chances are Mercedes will win the Constructor Championship. There is no doubt about it. It's all about the Driver Championship, which is led by Lewis Hamilton after not leading the championship this season all the way till Singapore came, and Vettel, Verstappen and Kimi Raikkonen had crashes in the first corner of Singapore Grand Prix, and things changed dramatically after that. And Lewis Hamilton, after he finished the Grand Prix, was leading the Driver Championship by 28 points. And the live session has just started. We are into qualifying session 1. Hamilton exits the pits on the soft, the middle of the 3 compounds which are available this weekend, and everyone else is heading on the super softs. So Mercedes has a strategy in place here, as they want to do this on soft tires. That will give them advantage with extra set of tires available for the race. We are 15 minutes to go in this session, qualifying session 1, as most of the drivers comes out on the track. As Roman Grosjean is the first one to set the time lap. He is on super soft tires. Most of the drivers are on super soft tires except Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, who have decided to go on the super soft tires. Free practice session 3 had some work to be done on Sebastian Vettel car, which has been completed, and he's back on the track with Roman Grosjean just crossing the start finish line. Goes P1 134.943 and immediately been surpassed by Pascal Wehrlein for Sauber 134.655. Lewis Hamilton is the next one. Remember, he's on the soft tires. He's way faster than both the drivers on provisional pole. Remember, last time pole position timing was 1 minute 32.85 seconds, and Lewis Hamilton is looking to, as he travels the last corner of the straight, comes on the start finish straight. Where does he finish? He goes 132.38, so already half a second faster than the time set by last time around. Kimi Raikkonen, the next one to go on the back straight, goes around. It will be interesting to see what Ferrari does now, because they were very strong in the free practice sessions. Let's see whether Mercedes was purposely keeping something in hand. No, Ferrari has actually shown. So they are 1/10 of the second faster than Lewis Hamilton car. So Ferrari on the track. Raikkonen goes fastest, so Ferrari on track. As we have 11 minutes to go in qualifying session 1, Kimi Raikkonen tops the timesheet with 1 minute 32.277 seconds. There we go. We have the timesheet right in front of you. Kimi Raikkonen fastest, followed by Lewis Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, Sergio Perez, Pascal Wehrlein, Roman Grosjean and Marcus Ericsson. Other drivers are still to set timing. Bottas, Hamilton and surprisingly Raikkonen is also on the soft tires, whereas Vettel is still sitting in the pits. His car work has been completed. Air temperature is good, 30 degrees Celsius, with track temperature 45 degrees Celsius, and drivers must be feeling a heat inside their cockpits with 50 plus degrees Celsius temperature over there. Remember, the race is in these high humidity circuits like Singapore and Malaysia, drivers have a weight loss of almost 4 kilograms of their body weight. That is very interesting to see how drivers cope up with that. And we all know last time around in Singapore when Valtteri Bottas had a problem of his fluid bottle connection was not working, and he had to run the race for almost an hour without the fluids, and he was complaining slight dizziness in the last few laps of the race because of severe dehydration which happens in these races. Max Verstappen is the next one on the back straight, goes around for the final straight, and let's see where he finishes. Looks to be strong, comes around start finish line and goes P2. So Red Bull well in hunt. And Sebastian Vettel, bad luck, he went on the track and he just while starting he again had the problem. So it takes about 10 minutes to repair the car, and looks like he's not going to go in the session 2 unless they do something extraordinary with this car. With Fernando Alonso the next one, sector 1 timing, he's 8/10 of the second down from the time set by pole position, provisional as of now in qualifying session 1. It's pity for Sebastian Vettel if he cannot find a timing here from his car. As we see on the timesheet on your screens, Lewis Hamilton again has gone faster. An interesting, Sebastian Vettel had come on track, and when he was going for the time lap, he complained of turbo failure and there was no power in his car. Pity for Sebastian Vettel, the championship contender, and as we said, if he doesn't do well in this race, then his chances of getting the driver championships are over, and looks to be the conditions are heading in the way what Ferrari will never like to have. Vettel has not set up the timings. So would say unlucky Vettel. And definitely as Formula 1 fans, we would like to see much more competitiveness on the track. As we have five minutes to go for this session. Sebastian Vettel sits in pits, waits for the car to be done something. With Hamilton leading once again the qualifying session 1. So Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes all are running on soft tires, whereas all other teams are on super soft tires. So advantage is clear for three top teams. It will be more of a fight for balance 4 positions on top 10 in the race. as Lewis Hamilton has come out of the car and he feels that's enough for qualifying session 1, as he's already touched 1 minute 31.605 seconds, which doesn't seem to be challenged by any of the rivals. Friends, this is Naresh from Autocars India bringing you live commentary for Formula 1 round 15 qualifying session from Malaysia. Do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on bottom of your screen below the yellow flashing button which you see. Please click subscribe button to have more Formula 1 updates and live commentaries coming. Going back on the racetrack, as Lewis Hamilton is out of his car and Q1 is done for Britain. Fingers crossed for Sebastian Vettel, and this doesn't seem to be changing his position, and he should be starting back of the grid if he is not able to put the time lap, which is seeming very unlikely. However, they are going to give one more chance to Sebastian Vettel. He is ready to come out of the pits. It will be interesting to see what does he do with turbo problem. With 2.5 minutes to go, probably his aim will be to have one time lap, qualify for Q2, where he will get around 10 to 12 minutes to get the car worked on. No, team was trying to bring Sebastian Vettel out, but looks like they are changing the mind at the last moment. With 1.5 minutes to go, drivers in relegation zone are Gasly for Toro Rosso, Pascal Wehrlein, Roman Grosjean, Marcus Ericsson and Sebastian Vettel. As we see the timing on your screens, Vettel is still to set the time and he is inside the pits. Things doesn't look good for him in this Grand Prix either. With just about 30 seconds to go for this, Vettel is still in the pits and he is taken off his helmet. So game over for Sebastian Vettel for this qualifying session, and if at all, he is going to start back of the grid. So drivers in relegation zone. Remember, top 15 drivers will finish, and Gasly, new driver for Toro Rosso, who has replaced Daniel Kvyat, is in the relegation zone. And as the checkered flag comes out, drivers trying their final run. Pascal Wehrlein doesn't improve. Carlos Sainz coming next. Yes, he improved. He goes P8. Pierre Gasly got P8 also. So Fernando Alonso is the next one. What does he do? Alonso is safe in 12th position with last driver Marcus Ericsson. Can he do something? Coming around in the last corner of the track. Goes around nicely. Let's see where does he finish. He's in relegation zone. No, he doesn't. He stays P19. Nico Hülkenberg. He improves. He goes P9. So both the Toro Rossos has done good job to bring their cars in 8th and 10th position. And Jolyon Palmer and Lance Stroll also tries, and Stroll moves P13 as he picks up the checkered flag. Jolyon Palmer is the last one and he improves. Fernando Alonso is in 15th position, sitting last, and there he finishes. So Fernando Alonso just survives the scare of being relegated, but he sticks on. Both the McLarens are there and they qualify for Q2. So both the Haas cars have been knocked out. So qualifying session 1 gets over. So just give you a quick update. Drivers relegated in qualifying session 1 are Roman Grosjean, Kevin Magnussen, both Haas drivers, Pascal Wehrlein Sauber, Marcus Ericsson Sauber, and Sebastian Vettel with his problem with turbo. He's out of qualifying session 1. So here are the results for qualifying session 1. Drivers out: Roman Grosjean from Haas, Kevin Magnussen from Haas 2, both the drivers out. Pascal Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson for Saubers also out, and Sebastian Vettel, he could not set any time in Q1. As we get ready for qualifying session 2, Pierre Gasly, the first race in Formula 1, does pretty good and qualifies, goes to P8 in session 1, which is a good result. What a reversal of fortunes for Ferrari here. They were posing to be very strong. As the clouds looms over the track, drivers get ready for second session, which will go for 15 minutes. Qualifying session 2 just about to get underway. McLaren just about to get their cars bringing on track as 10 seconds to go for qualifying session 2 to start. And here we go, green lights, session 2 starts. No drivers on track as of now, but I'm sure every driver will be itching to go on the track. Nobody wants to waste any time whatsoever in case of rain sets in, which there are chances, there are 20% of chances for the rain to come. So Raikkonen is the first one to come out on the track to set the timing. He's on the out lap, warming up his tires. Kimi Raikkonen. As other drivers also join on the track, Mercedes is all set to bring their drivers out. Fernando Alonso is also getting ready in his car. As we all know, McLaren and Renault, McLaren and Red Bull, they have swapped the engines. McLaren is going to go with Renault and Red Bulls are going to go with Honda engines in 2018. Valtteri Bottas on the time lap, the first one to set the time lap. Sector 1 sets up 23.696 seconds. So Lewis Hamilton a bit slow in the first sector as Valtteri Bottas goes flying. as the dark clouds hovering around on the track. Drivers are desperate to set the time lap. Rain can set in any time, and this will make the interesting qualifying more interesting. As Valtteri Bottas completes the sector 2 and going around on the back straight with the speed touching 330 km/h as he goes around and comes on the straight line finish, crosses the straight line start finish line, goes 31.272. Valtteri Bottas. Behind him Lewis Hamilton. Where does he finish? He finishes 2/10 of the second faster than Valtteri Bottas. Esteban Ocon in Force India behind him, and he goes 8/10 of the second slower than Lewis Hamilton. So he is P3. Kimi Raikkonen behind them. Very strong lap 2. Where does he finishes? He's on the back straight. Goes around with the speed 322 km/h, braking hard on the flowing corner, comes out on the start finish line, crosses it, and he is P1. Kimi Raikkonen for Ferrari is 8/100th of the second faster than Lewis Hamilton. He is the P1. Daniel Ricciardo now, and Max Verstappen behind him on the back straights. As they go around the sweeping corner, Daniel Ricciardo, the first one to go, he crosses the start finish line, and he is 5/10 of the second slower than P1. He's P4. Max Verstappen the first, then the second Red Bull coming across, comes to the start finish line. Where does he finishes? He's 5/1000ths of the second slower than Kimi Raikkonen, who was P1. So you cannot have a closer timing than this. 5/1000ths of a second difference between P1 and P2. Behind him, Pierre Gasly, also coming in sector 2, looks to be very strong. This driver who has replaced Daniel Kvyat for probably these races and could be replacing Daniel Kvyat for next year around for Red Bull junior teams, Toro Rosso. He goes around start finish line, and he is P10. Nico Hülkenberg behind him as he moves around. Where does Nico Hülkenberg comes out? Interesting to see for Renault. He goes P7. Nice outing for Nico Hülkenberg also. As Massa, Stroll, Alonso and Palmer are still to set the timings. Van Dome is P8 as of now. What a timing set by Max Verstappen this time around. Lewis Hamilton had a bit of hiccup in his last lap where he lost time. As we go into last 7 minutes of this session, very interesting lap, first time lap which was set by Kimi Raikkonen. And Max Verstappen was just behind him, 5/1000ths of the second separating the top two drivers. That is one of the closest timings we have seen of late. With Palmer and Stroll also have set the timings. We have drivers in relegation zone as of now: Sergio Perez for Force India, Carlos Sainz for Toro Rosso, Gasly for Toro Rosso, Joel and Palmer for Renault, and Lance Stroll for Williams. As Joel Palmer comes across and he goes P10. So pushing down Max Verstappen comes out of his car after a great effort which has been put by him on super soft tires. What an effort that was. So as of now, Kimi Raikkonen from Ferrari leads. He is P1. He doesn't need to do another lap in this session at least. They have 6 minutes to go, with Max Verstappen of Red Bull separating 5 thousandths of a second between Raikkonen and Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton, third one, 800 of seconds slower than the P1. Valtteri Bottas in 4th position, Daniel Ricciardo 5th, Esteban Ocon of Force India 6th, 7th, Nico Hülkenberg of Renault, Lance Felipe Massa 8th for Williams, and Fernando Alonso 9th, followed by his teammate Stoffel Vandoorne in McLaren's, completing top 10. Drivers in relegation zone: Perez, Sainz, Gasly, Palmer, Stroll, as Palmer pushes down Vandoorne and Sergio Perez to relegation zone as the timings get toppled. As we see drivers in relegation zone changing every second of this last 4 minutes of the race of qualifying session 2, with Stoffel Vandoorne, Sergio Perez, Carlos Sainz, Gasly and Lance Stroll in relegation zone, with another one chance up for offing in the last 4 minutes of this session 2. Great session we had, as we lost Sebastian Vettel. He could not put any time lap in Q1, Q2 coming out to be a thriller. With just about 2 minutes to go in this session, drivers prepare to come out on the track. All the more important for drivers in relegation zone: Stoffel Vandoorne, Sergio Perez, Stoffel Vandoorne from McLaren, Sergio Perez from Force India, Carlos Sainz and Gasly from Toro Rosso, and Lance Stroll from Williams. Lewis Hamilton also comes out. He doesn't want to sit in 3rd position. Kimi Raikkonen in P1, sitting pretty, and he feels he's going to qualify in session 3 easily without making another effort to come on the track. As Alonso also on the track trying to solidify his position, so he stays safe in. As of now, he is in position 9, which is not safe at all, as Gasly and Sainz will try to definitely come in top 10, and they have the potential with the car. As Nico Hülkenberg, he starts his time lap. He is presently P7. Goes around in sector 1. He is 3/10 of the second down in the sector 1 timing, as set by P1, Kimi Raikkonen. Sergio Perez, in fact, is faster, and he will surely be able to come out of the relegation zone, as the timing sheet shows us. With Nico Hülkenberg a bit slower than Sergio Perez of Force India. Nico Hülkenberg already 5/10 of the second down in the second sector, where Sergio Perez is 3/10 of the second faster, but he's competing with P10 position. So Nico Hülkenberg, he is around in the back straight, goes around the flowing corner, final corner of this circuit, had a bit of hiccup but manages to come out safely, and he goes P6. Nico Hülkenberg betters his time, he goes P6. Sergio Perez, the next one, what does he do? He comfortably puts his car in P6 now. Daniel Ricciardo, he's P5 with Lewis Hamilton. Last time he had some hiccups when he was going off the track, but he stays only P4. Felipe Massa is the next one. He stays P9, betters his time. Stoffel Vandoorne now. Interesting to see where he finishes. He's P8, and Fernando Alonso also comes around him. What does he do? This is the last chance for Fernando Alonso. He's P10. He's the last driver, and it's very difficult for him as Carlos Sainz doesn't make it. What about Pierre Gasly? Does he be able to make it? No, he doesn't make it. So Jolyon Palmer and Lance Stroll are the only two drivers who can displace Fernando Alonso from 10th position. Lance Stroll is coming around on the start-finish straight. Will he be able to do it? We'll see in just about a second. No, he doesn't. Esteban Ocon is the last driver. If he is able to displace Fernando Alonso, he does it. But he's only better his time. So Fernando Alonso manages to scrape through in qualifying session 3 with sitting with heart in his mouth for last 30 seconds. So McLaren's managed to put it through to Q3 now. Both the McLarens. Congratulations to McLaren. They are able to do it once again. Very strong performance by McLaren. So qualifying session 2 completes. With drivers out, Felipe Massa, Jolyon Palmer, Lance Stroll, Carlos Sainz and Gasly, Pierre Gasly. as I update the data for you to see on your screens. Here we go. So qualifying session 2 gets over, and drivers out in qualifying session 2 are Felipe Massa from Williams, Jolyon Palmer from Renault, Lance Stroll from Williams, Carlos Sainz and Pierre Gasly from both the Toro Rossos are out in qualifying session 2. Drivers qualifies for pole position. Valtteri Bottas has topped the timesheet during the dying moments of session 2. So Bottas tops the timesheet with Kimi Raikkonen following him, Max Verstappen 3rd position from Red Bull, Lewis Hamilton 4th position Mercedes, Daniel Ricciardo from Red Bull 5th, Sergio Perez Force India 6th, Esteban Ocon Force India, another Force India doing a good show, 7th position, 8th for Nico Hülkenberg for Renault, 9th Stoffel Van Dorn, and Fernando Alonso completes the top 10 and qualifies for pole position shootout here. Remember, this is the last Grand Prix in Kuala Lumpur, and this action is being brought live to you guys from Naresh, your host from Autocars India. Live commentary coming up from Autocars India. Do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting right bottom corner of your screen the subscribe button, as we await for the drivers to catch some breath and get ready for pole position shootout. Drivers eliminated in Q2: Massa, Palmer, Stroll, Sainz and Gasly. Strong show by Max Verstappen here. Friends, I'll be bringing live action, live commentary to you tomorrow, race day. Do remember to tune into my channel to have the running commentary for the race, as we get up to a lot of action which we expect tomorrow, as Sebastian Vettel is going to start back of the grid after his turbo had a problem and could not set up any timing. What a shame for Ferrari when they were so hopeful to put a very strong show here, and Sebastian Vettel could not even put a time lap on this circuit. As we get ready for the final session to undergo fight to pole, with 12 minutes to go in this session, and here we go, the green lights on. Previous pole positions in Malaysia: Hamilton with 4 pole positions, Hamilton had the last 3 pole position here with one break in between in 2013 when Vettel won. Vettel had the pole position. Before that also Hamilton had the pole position. So Vettel, Hamilton and Fernando Alonso are the king of this track. Green light, cars getting out, fight for the pole position is underway. As drivers comes around the corners, getting some temperatures in their tires, we are all set for a great race weekend here. As drivers get out from their pits and rain is still holding on, we are looking for last 9 minutes of this race. All the drivers are going to get possible 2 chances to have a go for the pole position here. As Daniel Ricciardo goes around the track, getting his temperatures up on the tires, we are all set for some action here. Some new guy coming on the pole position possibly, or unless Lewis Hamilton finds a pace in this dying moment, 10 minutes of this fight to pole qualifying session 3. Bottas never had the pole here. Kimi Raikkonen, have to see, Max Verstappen could be the one to spring a surprise. As Lewis Hamilton goes around the sector 1, sets up a good time lap there. Now in sector 2, let's see what time he is going to set. He's the first one on the track to set the time as he goes around in fast flowing corners, 15 corners in this Malaysian Grand Prix track. The speeds are in excess of 250 kilometers per hour. As he goes around in last few corners, comes on the back straight with speed touching to 330 kilometers per hour as he brakes hard coming around and comes in the start finish straight, completes it. Where does he finish? Sets up 1:30.076. Kimi Raikkonen behind him. Will he be able to displace? No, he doesn't. Kimi Raikkonen is P2. Did he made some mistake somewhere? As Lewis Hamilton is finding that magical time seconds in his lap. With Daniel Ricciardo now, will he be able to do something? No, he's 5/10 slower than Lewis Hamilton time. Max Verstappen is the next one. Will he be able to do? He's on the back straight. Looks good to match the timings of Lewis Hamilton, but it had to be seen as Lewis Hamilton had a great lap last time around. As he goes around and crosses the start finish line, where does he finishes? He is also not close to Lewis Hamilton time, 5/10 of a second slower. So P1 Lewis Hamilton as of now, first session of this qualifying session 3. Kimi Raikkonen second, Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen finishing 3 and 4. Valtteri Bottas in distant 5th position. Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon 6th and 7th position. Looks like some mistake by Max Verstappen, yes, as he was coming around the back straight. He gets one more chance to rectify the same. As Lewis Hamilton goes comfortably in the pits. Good job done for Lewis Hamilton as of now, holding the provisional pole position. Both the McLarens sitting in the last two position as Nico Hülkenberg is still in the pits, with Kimi Räikkönen comes to the pits having a quicker and relaxing moments, few moments only, as the get ready heads up for the final lap. One more lap, one more chance to grab the pole position, and it is up for offing. Contenders, serious contenders seems to be Max Verstappen, Kimi Räikkönen. Lewis Hamilton has already shown where he is coming to 1 minute 30.076 seconds. In the meantime, teams are getting ready to get their drivers out for the one final lap. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting the right bottom corner of your screen, the subscribe button. I'm Naresh, your host from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary for Malaysian Grand Prix qualifying session happening in Kuala Lumpur, the last weekend of Malaysia, as Formula One departs from Malaysia this year around. Daniel Ricciardo is on the outlap, followed by Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton, both the McLarens, Force Indias, all coming out of the pits, including Nico Hülkenberg. He has not set up any timing as of now. This will be very interesting to see who gets a pole position in Malaysia. As drivers comes out for the outlap, with just about 2.5 minutes to go for this final session of qualifying, we are all set for some great action coming across in next 2 minutes time. Keeping the fingers crossed, Max Verstappen, which is all set for springing a surprise, and he will give his heart out to do something different and great, but he has to put the effort all together, not to make any mistake whatsoever like last time around. As Daniel Ricciardo, the first driver to start his time lap, starts off with 313 km/h speed, goes around turn 1, turn 2, flowing corners on the circuit, and sweeping right-hander for turn 3 as he completes the sector 1, a time which is 2/10 of a second down on the pole position already. Max Verstappen behind him. What does he do in sector 1? He is also 1/10 of a second down on Lewis Hamilton time. So Max Verstappen doesn't seems to be better his time. Daniel Ricciardo already in sector 2 as he comes around in turn number 7, 8, 9 and completes sector 2. He's 3/10 of a second down. How about Max Verstappen? As he goes around in sector 2, he is also down. So Max Verstappen also doesn't do some betterment of his timings. So Lewis Hamilton is all set for the pole position unless Kimi Raikkonen has something to play in his lap. As Daniel Ricciardo comes around, completes, crosses the start-finish straight, and he is not bettering his time, sits at P3. Max Verstappen, the next one. Will he be able to displace his teammate? That's a question now. Comes around the start-finish straight, crosses the line, goes P3, displaces his teammate. Valtteri Bottas, the next one. What does he do here? Comes across, crosses the time, and he's only P5. Lewis Hamilton is the next one. He's already on the pole, provisional pole position. Will he be able to better his time? He doesn't do it. 6/10 of a 600 of the second slower. Kimi Raikkonen, the true contender, will he be able to do it? Time to see as he comes around in turn number 14. Goes around the back and takes a perfect U-turn. Will he be able to snatch the pole position as he crosses the... No, he doesn't. 400 of the second slower than Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari doesn't do it. Hamilton gets a perfect start for his Constructor Championship. Hamilton had a bit of lockup when he was going around in the last corner, and probably that costed him the time which he lost. So Lewis Hamilton gets the pole position in Malaysia. What a lap by Lewis Hamilton here. Interestingly, Stoffel Vandoorne, he finishes 7th. He gets P7. Alonso is only P10th. Stoffel Vandoorne is P7 here. So Lewis Hamilton gets his pole position. A well-deserved one by Lewis Hamilton, where Mercedes was not very strong here. They were touted to be strong, but they never showed the true pace in last 2 days. And suddenly, when the time requires it, Lewis Hamilton has brought that time from their car, and he gets a pole position for Mercedes. So Lewis Hamilton starts off pole with 1 minute 30.076 seconds. A gap between him and Kimi Raikkonen, 400ths of a second slower. Max Verstappen, third step on the qualifying. P4 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, another Red Bull driver. Valtteri Bottas starts 5th. Esteban Ocon in Force India starts 7th. Starts 6th. Stoffel Vandoorne of McLaren, very good result, starts P7. Nico Hülkenberg, Renault P8, Sergio Perez, Force India 9th, and Fernando Alonso completes the top 10. So Hamilton is the pole sitter. So as the qualifying session comes to an end, and also with this live commentary session also getting curtailed now, this is your host Naresh from Autocars India, bringing you live commentary from Malaysia, the 15th round of Formula 1 2017 season, which was pole is bagging with Lewis Hamilton, followed by Kimi Raikkonen Ferrari, Max Verstappen in third position. Great show. Guys, do remember to tune into my channel tomorrow for the race day live. Timings are on your screens with the intimation for the live commentary tomorrow, same time around. With this, I would like to sign off. Your host Naresh from Autocars India. Do remember to like and subscribe by clicking subscribe button on the right bottom corners of your screen. Goodbye, take care, have safe driving.